Before you sleep tonight, I want you to try something strange. Not hard, not mystical, just strange enough to wake you up inside. Think of one small thing that happened yesterday. A cup of tea, a short drive, a text you answered, a face you saw. Hold it for a second. Now notice how that memory feels. It does not feel excited. It does not feel uncertain. You are not trying to make it real. You are not begging it to happen. You are not checking for signs. It feels finished, quiet, plain, solid. It happened, and because it happened, your mind does not wrestle with it. Now listen carefully, because this is where everything starts to shift. What if you could bring that same feeling to the life you want? Not the feeling of waiting for it, not the feeling of hoping it is close, not the feeling of saying maybe, maybe, maybe. I mean the calm feeling of something already done, the ordinary weight of a fact. If you can feel your desire the way you feel yesterday, the whole game changes. Time bends, pressure breaks. The distance between you and what you want begins to fold. Stay with me, because this one idea can change the way you imagine, the way you pray, the way you move through your day, and the speed at which life answers you. Most people miss this. Most people do the exact opposite, and that is why they stay stuck, repeating the same inner movie and getting the same outer result. Most people treat desire like a visitor that has not arrived yet. They think about it as a future event. Someday I will have the money. Someday I will meet the right person. Someday I will step into the life I know is mine. It sounds harmless, it even sounds positive. But look closer. The moment you say it that way, you quietly admit that it is not here now. You push it forward, you place it outside your hands, and then you wonder why it keeps living there. The future is a clever trick of the mind. It feels real, but you never actually live in it. You only ever live here. In this breath, in this hour, in this living present moment, where every assumption takes root and every feeling begins to shape form. So when you keep saying it will happen, consciousness hears something very clear. Not now. Not mine yet, still waiting, still lacking, still reaching. And because life responds to what you are conscious of being now, not what you say you want later, it keeps giving you more of that same state. More waiting, more almost, more signs without arrival. This is why people do all the right techniques and still feel like the result stays one step ahead. They are staring at life from the wrong angle. They are looking toward their desire instead of from it. That one shift sounds small, but it changes the whole inner atmosphere. And once the inner atmosphere changes, the outer weather follows. That is the turning point. That is where this stops being effort and starts becoming law. Here is the secret in simple words. You do not pull your desire into the present by chasing it. You bring it nearby, letting it feel finished. And the fastest way to make something feel finished is to relate to it the way you relate to memory. Think about memory for a moment. A real memory does not need your support. You do not repeat affirmations to keep yesterday alive. You do not panic that it may vanish if you stop believing. You remember it, and that is enough. It sits in you with quiet authority. That is the exact quality you want. Not loud emotion, not forced excitement, not dramatic faith. Quiet knowing, the kind that barely argues, the kind that says, yes, that happened. It is done. When you learn to place your desire in that emotional tone, something deep begins to relax. The body softens, the mind stops gripping, the heart stops leaning forward in hunger, and in that softened state, your deeper mind receives a new message. Not help me get this, not maybe one day, but this is part of my life. This belongs to me. This is within my lived reality. Listen, this matters more than people think. A desperate picture of success still carries the feeling of not having it. A hopeful picture of love still carries the feeling of not being loved yet. A worried picture of healing still carries the feeling of illness. The scene may look beautiful, but the emotional direction is wrong. So do not just imagine the thing. Change your relationship to the thing. That is the key. Make it feel remembered. Make it feel settled. Make it feel like you are no longer trying to get there because somewhere inside you know you already did. Tonight, instead of imagining the moment your desire arrives, go further. This is important. Do not stop at the instant of getting it because that moment still carries motion, change, suspense. Go past it. Move ahead to a time when the wish has already become normal. If you want money, do not picture the bank alert. Go months beyond that. Picture the stage where your bills are handled, your chest is light, and peace feels ordinary. If you want love, do not picture the first date. Go deep into the relationship, where their presence is part of your daily life, where their voice is familiar, where your loneliness feels like a distant room you no longer live in. If you want health, do not picture the beginning of recovery. Go to the season after the healing, when your body feels natural again, when energy is no longer exciting because it is simply there. This is where the magic grows stronger, because what becomes ordinary sinks deeper. What is ordinary feels believable. What feels believable reaches the subconscious without resistance. From that future place, you do something different. You do not look ahead and ask how it will happen. You look back and remember how it did. Do you hear the change? You remember the call. You remember the message. You remember the day everything turned. You remember the relief in your chest, the strange silence afterward, the moment you realized this was real. Stay with that. It is subtle, but it is powerful. You are not pretending. You are not forcing. You are creating the inner texture of fact. And fact has a completely different sound in the mind. It does not shout. It settles. It lands. It stays. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Suppose you want a home. Most people would picture opening the door for the first time, getting the keys, crying in the driveway, walking through empty rooms. That can help, but it still carries the energy of arrival. Instead, place yourself 6 months later. The boxes are gone. The cups are in the cupboard. The bed is made. The smell of the house is familiar now. You know which floorboard makes a sound. You know how the morning light falls across the wall. Now from that place, remember. I remember the day this became mine. I remember how unreal it felt at first. I remember making that first phone call. I remember standing by the window the next morning thinking, this is my life now. Can you feel how different that is? It is softer, stronger too, less needy. If you want a new job, do not keep seeing the interview. Move months into the role. Your desk is yours. The people know your name. Your routine is set. Then remember the email that changed everything. Remember the first morning you walked in. Remember telling someone, I still cannot believe this worked out, and then laughing because part of you could. If you want peace in your family, do not focus on the apology coming. Go to the time after the healing. Holidays feel easy again. Conversations are natural. Your heart is not guarding itself anymore. Then look back and remember the day the wall finally broke. This is the move. Over and over. Past the event, into the settled life after it, then backward into memory. This is where the desire stops feeling like a target and starts feeling like a chapter that already belongs to your story. Now let's go deeper, because when you understand why this works, your practice becomes cleaner and stronger. The deeper mind does not live by the same clock your thinking mind obeys. It does not sort experience the way a calendar does. It responds to impression, feeling, repetition, identity. If an event is impressed upon it with sensory vividness and emotional certainty, it begins to accept that event as part of your lived pattern. That is why memory is so powerful. Memory has the emotional signature of fact. When you repeatedly remember your desire as though it has already become part of your life, you are giving the deeper mind a direct instruction. This is real. This belongs to me. This is normal for me. And once that instruction is accepted, your inner world starts to reorganize around it. You notice different options. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You respond to chances you once ignored. You walk into rooms with a changed posture, and that changed posture creates changed outcomes. Small moments begin to line up. The right idea appears, the right person calls, the delay shifts, the old path cracks open. And the strangest part is this: it often feels natural when it happens. Quiet, almost simple, not because nothing big occurred, but because the inner acceptance came first. You were no longer asking life to surprise you with a miracle. You had already made space for the result inside yourself. This is why people often say it arrived when they finally stopped chasing. They did not stop caring. They stopped leaning away from the fulfilled version of themselves. They stopped treating the desire like a stranger. And the moment it no longer felt far away inside, the outside began closing distance too. There is another gift in this method, and if you catch it, it will save you from so much mental exhaustion. When you remember something, you almost never ask how it happened. You may recall details, yes, but you do not stand there doubting the path. You do not say, but how could yesterday possibly have occurred? It already did. That same mood frees you from the trap of overthinking. When you remember your fulfilled desire, the question of how starts losing its grip. You know it happened somehow. You know the road got built. The details become secondary. And the moment you stop trying to force the bridge into view before taking the first step, life has room to move. This part is huge. Do not skip it. So many people delay their own result because they keep demanding a full map. They want every step explained before they can relax. But the need to know how is often just fear wearing smart clothes. It sounds reasonable, but it keeps you tied to the old state. Memory cuts through that. Memory says, it worked out. The middle took care of itself. I remember that it happened. That is enough. Try using that language. I remember when this turned around. I remember when the answer came. I remember how shocked I was at how easily it happened after all that worry. Those lines carry power because they move you away from struggle and into completion. You are not denying the present. You are choosing the direction of your consciousness. And direction matters. A mind that keeps staring at absence produces more emotional proof of absence. A mind that looks back from fulfillment begins to generate the feeling tone of possession. And possession, inner possession, is where manifestation starts becoming physical. Maybe part of you is asking a fair question right now. Is this not just making things up? Is this not lying to yourself in a polished spiritual way? No. Not if you understand what you are doing. You are not trying to fool yourself into a fake story. You are selecting a state. You are entering a version of reality inwardly before it hardens outwardly. Every change in life begins that way. Before a building stands, it exists as an idea, accepted strongly enough to be carried into matter. Before a song is heard, it exists as an inward pattern. Before a new identity is visible, it is first lived in silence. So when you create a memory of your fulfilled desire, you are not practicing dishonesty. You are practicing alignment. You are saying, I refuse to worship delay. I refuse to treat visible facts as the only facts. I understand that the physical world is often slow, but consciousness moves first. This is why the method must feel natural, not hysterical. You are not trying to scream your way into belief. You are gently becoming familiar with a reality that your senses have not fully caught up with yet. There is a big difference. The world on the outside is often the last part to shift. First, your inner speech changes, then your mood changes, then your reactions change, then your choices change, then events begin reflecting the new state. That is why patience matters here, but not passive patience, calm certainty, the kind that says, I do not need to rip open the seed every hour to see if it is growing. I remember planting it. I remember when this whole thing changed. It is on the way into sight because it is already alive in me. So here is how to live this, not once but daily. In the morning before you move too fast, before your phone, before the noise of the world starts telling you who you are, take 2 quiet minutes. Place yourself in the fulfilled life, not at the edge of it, inside it, deep enough that it feels lived in. Then look back and remember 1 or 2 short scenes. Maybe the day it happened, maybe the first morning after, maybe a tiny detail that proves it became real. Let that mood touch you before you rise. During the day, watch your direction. This is a retention moment, so really hear this. The problem is not always what you think about. The problem is the direction from which you think. If you catch yourself saying, when will this happen? Stop, turn it. Say inwardly, that worked out. I remember that chapter. Even if you only hold it for 10 seconds, the turn matters. At night, make the practice deeper. Close your eyes. Go past the moment of change into the ordinary after. Feel the normal life of it. Then remember backward. Remember the text, the call, the diagnosis changing, the contract coming through, the conversation that healed the distance, the rent being paid with ease, the first evening you sat in peace and realized the pressure was gone. Give the mind pictures, give it sound, give it texture. Let the memory become rich enough that your body begins to respond to it. Then fall asleep there, not in wanting, not in pleading, in remembering. Sleep is powerful because the mind softens and impression goes deeper. If you can carry the mood of fulfilled memory into sleep, you are planting it where it can grow roots without your constant interference. And let me add something else, because this is where many people lose momentum. They think the method failed the moment the outer world still looks the same. But the outer world has always moved slower than the inner shift. Do not measure the truth of your state only by what happened today at 3 p.m. Measure it by what you are becoming. Are you calmer, less desperate, less triggered by delay, more natural around the idea of having what you want? That matters. Those are signs that the state is taking hold. Do not keep digging up your own seed with panic. Do not spend all day checking if the mirror moved while your face is still changing. The mirror follows. It always follows. Your work is the inner turn, and yes, there may be days when old fear rises. Fine, let it rise, but do not build a home there. Return to the memory, return to the fulfilled version, return to the ordinary after. If the mind says, but it is not here yet, answer gently, I remember when this changed. If the body feels tense, slow down and breathe inside the scene until it softens. If nothing feels vivid, make it smaller. One short memory can be enough. One simple line can be enough. I remember when that burden ended. I remember when I was finally free. I remember when I stopped asking and started living. Repeat it like someone describing something real, not like someone trying to escape pain. That difference is everything. Because this is not about performance, it is about inner relocation. You are moving your sense of self from the state of waiting to the state of having. And once the self moves, life begins arranging itself around the move. So tonight, when the room gets quiet and the day begins to fade, do not end the night by reviewing the problem again. Do not rehearse the delay. Do not polish the story of what is missing. Sit still for a moment and go where you need to go. Move beyond the chase. Move beyond the first arrival. Enter the life where the wish has already been yours long enough to feel natural. Let it be simple. Let it be almost boring in the best way. Let it feel lived in. Then look back. Remember the turning point. Remember the day the pressure broke. Remember the morning you woke up and the old fear no longer fit. Remember the message, the relief, the gratitude, the silence after the storm. Feel the calm weight of something completed. Stay there long enough that your nervous system begins to believe it is safe. Long enough that your heart stops running ahead of you. Long enough that the inner world becomes more convincing than the old habit of lack. This is how the gap closes. This is how time seems to bend. This is how life begins to rush, quietly and sometimes suddenly, toward the shape you accepted within. Not because you forced the world, not because you fought reality, but because you stopped treating your desire like a faraway event and started holding it like a finished memory. That is the shift. That is the method. And if you practice it with steadiness, with softness, with a simple, faithful return, one day you will look around at your life and feel the strangest recognition. You will say, this is the moment I kept remembering. This is the life that once lived only in silence, and now it is here, ordinary and real, exactly where it belonged all along.